The Working Artist Project is brought to you by Second Line Arts Collective. Learn how you can support at secondlinearts.org.
We're creating a platform for those who are curious, one that tells the story from the artist's perspective. Moments in time, captured from the innovators who are reshaping dance, music, theater, and the visual arts. This is the Working Artist Project.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Working Artist Project. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I'd like to welcome our co-host slash host, the man with the plan, the man with the master plan, Mr. Darrian Douglas. What's up, Darrian?
What up, Greg? What up, man? I'm happy to be here. We got a very special guest, man. I'm actually one of her biggest fans, and she don't even know it. I don't want to say I was stalking her on Instagram, but slightly, because like she's a beast, and I was like, wow, man. Hopefully one day I get to play with some Samara Joy. And so anyway, I know we got other things to talk about before we get to our guest, but I just had to get that in real quick.
Hey, we're very excited for our guest this evening. And it's actually kind of cool because we were just chit-chatting for a brief moment before, and 99% of the time we've known whoever we're talking to or work with them or something like that. But tonight, this is the first time we're getting to know Samara. So this is going to be really exciting, and we hope to learn a lot. And also really excited to get to talk to one of the upcoming vocalist and probably upcoming great vocalists of the next generation of cats. So we're really excited to have her on tonight.
Absolutely, a legend in waiting. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I called it first. But before we jump into this week's episode, we do want to remind you guys to go check out our newsletter at secondlinearts.org. Sign up for it, because every week me or Greg gives you a $1 quadrillion, quadrillion, zillion dollar idea. And it's free, and it's only once a week. It's not like your old lady who always be hitting you up in a text and you don't be want to respond. See, we just want man, whatever you got.
Oh no!
Once a week, right, Greg?
Definitely. So we hope you will sign up to that newsletter at secondlinearts.org. And we have a bunch of things happening. This is actually, we're in the middle. Today was our first day of our 5th annual Sanaa music workshop, and it's kind of surreal to think that this whole journey started 5 years ago with our first workshop. I believe we had nine kids in the camp, and 5 years later we were able to get 23, 24 kids to join our virtual programming. And we're super pumped about it. We did a lot of great things. We had a recording and mixing class today. What else we did? We did writing and arranging, and some video editing. So we're really looking forward to this week. And huge shout out to all the sponsors and people who made this camp possible and made it tuition free for the students this year.
Absolutely, y'all. All right, with that, let's go ahead and jump right into this interview. And I want to go ahead and introduce the one and only Samara Joy to the Working Artist Project. Samara, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
I just got a text from my old man. I had to swipe it up, but
he's like, "Hey man, it's not Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. Leave me alone."
It was like, date night is, come on. I'm busy. I have things to do.
That's right.
It's actually funny because somewhere on Instagram they posted that little clip from what's the Spike Lee movie with Mo Better Blues, and they have the little clip with Denzel upstairs shedding, and his girlfriend comes downstairs and starts bugging him. It's like, what time is it? It's 2:00. I'm shedding. Leave me alone.
Right. That's right. No, I'm practicing.
Yeah.
You only around from the hours of 1 to 2.
That's right. One of my favorites. Well, I'm out here having a cool boy summer. I'm married, so I can't really have a hot boy summer, So I'm having a cool boy summer, drinking lots of water, having a good time. Anyway, let's get to the music. So we're very excited to kind of hear about your origin story and kind of how you got to the music. About how did you come through the church? Did you come through your parents? What was the vibe on that?
So I was actually a very quiet kid. I didn't really start singing until mid to end of middle school. But the influence that I grew up around, my parents, my mom was really secular, into like, disco and funk and all that kind of stuff. And my dad was more of the gospel side. So I did grow up in church, but not singing. I grew up more listening and taking it all in. Thanksgivings, especially because my family is in Philadelphia and Delaware and, all these different places. So that's the one time every year that we would all gather together and sing, which was really, really influential for me. And I didn't come to jazz until my senior year of high school, but really not until college, which I just graduated from about a month ago.
Wait,
so
you just graduated from college? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're at SUNY Purchase?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I joined the high school jazz band, and I sang one standard with them for every concert. It was a Duke Ellington standard. I let a song go out of my heart. And that's the same one that I auditioned with. I only auditioned at one school, that was Purchase College. I got in, I went, and from then on, being surrounded not only by professors like John Faddis and Kenny Washington, but my friends introducing me to different records and different singers and stuff like that, the repertoire classes and all that stuff. I dove right in. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's super killing. I actually want to take a step back a little bit, but you were saying growing up that you come from a musical family, and I kind of wanted to dig into that a little bit more, because I think you come from quite an influential musical family, and I wanted to hear more about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So my paternal grandparents, Elder Goldwire and Ruth McClendon, they started a group called the Savettes of Philadelphia, still running. I think they're in their 70th year now.
Wow.
And my grandfather, who sings in that group, who was the leader of that group, he's turning 93 this September. But yeah, that's where we come from. Like, it's them, then my aunts and uncles all play piano and sing and play drums and play bass and everything, and it sort of trickled down to me. So that's I'm really proud of and grateful to come from such a musical and creative family.
Yeah. What was that like? Were they like
The
giving you
McClendon family.
lessons, or were they like, did they introduce you to jazz? How did that come about?
I really didn't grow up listening to jazz at all. I think can I say Snarky Puppy? Is that like, I knew I was listening to them in high school, but and like the Yellow Jackets and Jeff
Officially,
Lorber
no,
sometimes
you're not
and
allowed
stuff,
to say
but
that.
I really George Duke. Right. I don't know, I've got to get a feel for the vibe. It's been 10 minutes, but
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I didn't really but no, I didn't really grow up listening to jazz. It came mostly from end of high school into college.
Wow.
And my family, I would be imitating them. My dad is a singer-songwriter, so I would be singing his songs and just listening to what everybody else is listening to. So
Wow. That's very interesting, because I would have never thought that. I would have thought that you were like one of those little, not, I mean, in the most respectful way, because I love everything you do. Jazz nerd kind of people, those people who are like, yeah, I've been in jazz camp since I was 5, but you're such a beast. You like, I just learned this last week and I'm the best.
And you know what's funny? I actually found out that my cousin by marriage, I don't know if you know a bass player named Mike Boone.
Of course.
Yeah, but he's my cousin by marriage, and his son, obviously, wow. Makai Boone, plays drums, and I'm actually going to be playing with them Wednesday in Philly. But we found out the week after I won the Sarabon competition. I was like, "Oh, you play bass? Do you know this, and that person?" I'm like, "Oh shoot, we got to hook up." So yeah, but aside from that family member, okay. Never know.
Where did you actually grow up, though?
Sorry. Grew up in New York, the Bronx, born and raised.
All right.
In New York through and through. That's a rarity these days. I feel like it's kind of like New Orleans. If you come to New Orleans, you don't run into any New Orleanians anymore.
Everybody done left.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting thing. To add to what Darrian was saying too. Just like having heard you sung, I would have just assumed that you had been studying the greats like Ella and Sarah throughout your life, and having a very intimate knowledge and experience with them. But that's very surprising to know that, like, you come from all these different roots, which is actually probably why you're so killing. But I was wondering, so what's the first jazz recording that you completely fell in love with? Was there something that like you just heard and you're like, wait, what is this?
It was a live video.
A live video?
It was a live video of Sarah Vaughan singing Loverman in Sweden. I think it was like 1961 or something like that. But I saw that live video. I was in school. I remember I was supposed to be doing homework and I was on the computers because they had Mac computers in there. So I was supposed to be doing arranging homework or something like that. But I found that my freshman year and I was like, first of all, this is incredible. Secondly, I got to learn how to do that because I'm always immersing myself and listening, but also trying to imitate. So I was like, whatever she's doing right here and right there, I got to learn how to do that. And that from then on, I got into, my friends were into Fats Navarro and Tad Dameron and stuff like that. So I got into them and her singing with Billy Eckstine. And that was the group that Charlie Parker was in. From Sarah Vaughan, from that live video, I was hooked.
Wow. Just from that response, I can tell right away you're a student of the music because you didn't stop at Sarah Vaughan. You're like, okay, let me check these other people out and see what the vibe is, And so I'm assuming you were already kind of doing that with Snarky Puppy and all these other people who are great and who are our friends actually. So you're already
friends with Snarky Puppy?
Yeah, of course.
We're old. Come on. I remember when they used to come to New Orleans in a school bus.
Yeah. I met Snarky Puppy years ago when I was in college, and they were. We'll get after this. I can tell you it's a long story, but I've known them for a long time.
Wow.
Mike, those guys, yeah, way before the Grammys. I mean, Anyway, I was just saying that you're a student of the music. And so were you studying that music and like, I don't know, R&B, or I'm assuming you 21 Beyonce, and that's your vibe, right?
Kind of, sort of. It depends. It depends on the day. But you mean like I'm listening to jazz alongside of listening to like modern, like contemporary stuff?
What I mean is like on your way to listening to jazz, before you listen to jazz, were you studying this other music like hard, like studiously trying to emulate it, or were you just kind of just listening?
I was trying to emulate Kim Burrell. I was trying to emulate Layla Hathaway. And I didn't really think of it as studying. I was just listening, over and over again. My dad gave me this iPod Generation 1. See, I can hang with y'all. iPod the Generation 1. And it had all of this music on it. And so I just put it on shuffle and just listen to whatever was on there and try to imitate it. But yeah, I didn't really think of it as studying at the time, but it was definitely a lot of repetition as far as imitating other singers.
That's what's up. I love that.
Darrian, I'm starting to feel old. I don't know about you. This is.
I was born in 1999.
There you go.
God, dude.
There you go. There you go. All right. It was nice having you. We'll see you all next week with another episode.
Listen, I like NSYNC. I like Boyz II Men. You know what I mean?
All
I'm
right.
down with y'all.
All right. You down with
Oh, that's too good. So, so you graduated. So did you just graduate college this past May?
Yes.
Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment.
Much.
That's so what are you going to do with that $100,000 piece of paper?
Yeah, take that down a couple $100,000. But wait, say it one more time. I'm sorry.
No, I was kind of kidding, but in all honesty, it's such a huge accomplishment for anyone to go through schooling, and it's a big step in going through life. And the best part is you could get any job now, and you have that credential, and you never have to do it again. And if you need it, you got it, and if you don't need it, you're good.
True.
But I would just like as a young person now, like we're coming out of this whole COVID situation, and you're leaving school, and you're essentially you're entering the world as an adult in this post-COVID environment. I was just kind of wondering like how you saw that, how you see the next couple of years of your life going.
I wanted to be full of new experiences for sure, like playing with people and getting performing experience and sort of coming into my own as far as discovering my sound and what I want to do with the music that I've been studying so far. Um, but I honestly, I couldn't, I can see myself singing a lot of different places and getting performing experience, but beyond that, I'm not sure.
Is the main goal like right now to to be out there as a band leader and kind of get your name out there?
Both. Band leader and sideman, just playing.
Just playing.
Because school, I mean, just trying to go to jam sessions and being out and then having to come back and do an assignment and like focus on both, you know, school of going to sessions and the school of just regular school. Like I feel like I didn't miss out, but now I finally have time to establish certain connections with people in the community and not just in my school community. So yeah. I think that's going to be the focus for now.
Maybe a lot of people who aren't musicians might not understand the difference between getting a music education in school and getting a music education out in the sessions and on gigs. And maybe could you dig into a little bit like the difference between those two learning styles and why it's so important for musicians to again like do the academic thing, but you need to be out in the streets playing in clubs?
Well, I think the connections made at school were definitely important as far as getting taught by professors who have been on the scene for a long time and who can not give you shortcuts, but just, you know, tell you certain things that they've learned and you can take it with a grain of salt and sort of take it along with you in your experience playing. But getting the theory and harmony, getting the jazz history, Kenny Washington, that was like the best course I've ever taken ever. And even this past year, I took transcription with Professor Faddis, and along with learning solos, he was like, you know, you should try to write lyrics. And I was like, nah, that's corny. But it was an assignment, so I had to do it. And I actually ended up really loving it, as well as taking arranging class and having to write big band charts. Like that's something I never expected myself to be able to do, or something that I may never do again, but the experience of having to do it, like making a big band chart, I was like, oh shoot, I actually can do this. But if I had never been in school, I would have never gotten that opportunity. So there's a lot of different elements that school is definitely helping with. And I think it's important for musicians to experience that, as well as learning from people on the scene.
So what's it like being out late at night learning on the scene though? Like, how does that differ?
Child, I'm tired. No, it's cool. Ooh, I'd be like around midnight. Yeah. It begins to tell. Hit the train. It's fun. It's fun. I am a homebody before the pandemic, so I feel like I've gone through 2 pandemics now because I was always home. But just meeting different people. Like I didn't hang around singers a whole lot. So now getting the opportunity to hear other singers and see the musicians that they would play with. And it's like, oh shoot, can you do this? Like, can you make this? Like just making those connections, not from just being the leader on the gig, but like going out to see people play and being like, oh shoot, you know, I really like your playing. Do you want to do this sometime? Or just that aspect of it, I felt like I was missing out on. But now I have the opportunity to sort of delve in it one night at a time, not every night. I'm not like that.
I love that. I want to go ahead and take a moment and let our audience hear what you can do.
Oh gosh.
So we're gonna play a tune of yours right now, and then we'll talk about it as soon as it's off. Here we go.
I'm calling you up, but you're calling me down. I want you to smile, but you give me the frown. It's easy to see that the trouble with me is you. I'm taking you out, but you're taking me in. Calling it quits when I want to begin. It's easy to see that the trouble with me is you. Just when I know that my heart says go, you stop. Then when I start to feel high, you let me drop with a flop. You're brushing me off and you lead me on. Tell me you'll stay, then I find that you're gone. It's easy to see why I happen to be so blue. 'Cause the trouble with me is you. Just when I know that my heart says go, you stop. Then when I start to feel high, you let me drop with a flop. You're brushing me off and you lead me on. Tell me you'll stay, then I find that you're gone. It's easy to see why I happen to be so blue. 'Cause the trouble with me, it's so easy to see. 'Cause the trouble with me is you.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy, you know? That's insane. Y'all gotta dig this too, because her brand new record is gonna be out July. Tell me which date? July what?
July 9th.
July 9th. And it's self-titled. And so this
Yes,
is
sir.
on the record, right? This tune.
Yes, indeed.
And so y'all gotta go out and get that record as soon as you can. You can go check it on. I'm sure she's gonna have it on Bandcamp, and that's gonna be the best place to do it, because believe it or not, streaming music does not help artists. So get your ass out there on Bandcamp and buy it. You know what I mean?
Pre-order
So-
CD and vinyl.
Oh, you know what? I want the vinyl. So
Yeah.
I was killing. So where were those lyrics in my life last year? The problem with me is you.
Uh-oh. Greg, this is not therapy, man. This is not.
No. So could you tell us who's on the record and who's on the record and what was the name of the track?
So the name of that track is called "It's Easy to See." The trouble with me is you. I heard that first sung by Nat King Cole. And who you hear on the track actually is a bass player by the name of Ari Rowland, played with Renelle Fournier as well as Betty Carter, and Italian guitarist Pasquale Grasso, student of Barry Harris. So yeah. Oh, y'all know him too? Oh shoot.
Yeah. Hey, we're old, been around the block.
Listen, y'all look great. At least these cameras are doing y'all justice. Your skin looks great.
Hey, man. Samara out here, she getting on us, y'all. She getting on us. I'm not that old. I'm only 36, you know.
See why you had to go and say that? I was helping you. No, I'm kidding.
So Samara, so is this your first record? This is your debut CD, right? What was it like?
Yes.
What was it like making a record?
Whew, it was quick, man. We only had 3 rehearsals the month of October, and then the end of the month is when we got into the studio and we recorded over the course of 2 days.
That's incredible. So, so you were working with the producer Matt. I'm sorry, what was his last name?
Pearson.
Matt Pearson.
Matt Pearson. So like talk about like what is the concept behind the record? What inspired you to select the songs? Like, is there a message behind the record? Like, what's the deal?
So I wanted it to be songs that I had found over the course of the past 3 years of studying, and songs that I had come across and that I have a personal connection to. So we whittled it down from maybe like 40 to those 11 or 12 that we have. I think we have a bonus track, but I didn't want it to be too, flashy or anything like that. It's like, these are the songs that I really have come across and that I've loved these past couple of years. And I want it to be the first thing that people hear from me, as far as paying homage to the greats and the people that I've listened to. in the sort of stripped back acoustic setting of guitar, bass, and drums. It helped to convey that message of songs that I really love, songs about love, and well, I can't say that I have a real personal connection to all the stories because I haven't, as people tell me, I haven't lived enough yet. But songs that I really love listening to. I love the melody. I love the way my favorite singers interpret them. So, yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of your coming out party, kind of introducing the world to Samara and what your vibe. But I like how you put that but also because you're leaving yourself room because you said that this is your acoustic sound. And so next you might come out with your hard rock album or your, neo soul joint or whatever. I don't know, whatever music is inside you, So
we'll see.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
So is the record, are you guys coming out through a record label or are you self-releasing it?
Whirlwind Recordings. Yeah. It's a UK label.
UK label. Awesome. Congratulations. And
Thank
also,
you.
so just to let everyone know also, so this record is your debut into the world, but prior to that, you were the winner of the International Sarah Vaughan competition. So I guess is that in any way tied into isn't there a prize that you get to make a record after the competition, or how does that work?
No, I was actually the first year where that was not part of the prize of winning. What was supposed to be money and a slot at Newport Jazz Festival, but because of the pandemic, it's been pushed back. So I think I'm doing Newport next summer, I believe.
But you still got the money, right?
Yeah. Yes,
okay,
sir.
That's
you and I had to make sure.
Let's just make sure. We can't postpone.
And it
that.
it went into funding the album, which I was really grateful for. So,
well, that's beautiful. I think a lot of times people don't really realize how much it costs to make a record. I mean,
once I saw the bill,
down payment on a house.
Yeah. On the low end for one record is $10,000, and that's with no promotion. And so you still got to pay a radio person, you still got to pay a promoter, and you got so many things to pay for the record. And remember, we play jazz, y'all. That's why we need y'all to go over to Bandcamp and buy this damn record. I'm gonna keep saying that.
You can't say, "Damn, they're not gonna buy it." Then please buy the record.
No, they're gonna buy it. I think your voice sells the record. That's the most important part. Was there anything in a part of the process of recording and making an album that caught you off guard or maybe surprised you about the whole experience?
I think on the first day of recording, it was I don't want to say it was difficult, but getting acclimated to not being in the same room with everybody. Like I could still see, there was a line of sight as far as seeing everybody for endings and stuff like that. But when I'm so used to, especially in rehearsals, like being near, like to everybody. So I think that was one thing that was hard for me to get adjusted to the first couple of takes. But other than that, my dad has a home studio here, so sometimes I do like parts for him on whatever project he's working on. So the studio aspect wasn't really new to me. Maybe just recording a full length album, that was the biggest thing. But overall, it was pretty easy, especially working with professional musicians and an experienced producer. It wasn't as difficult or as challenging as I expected it to be.
All right, so now I'm gonna get down to a nitty gritty question. All right.
All right.
On your next record, which you're gonna record here pretty soon, I'm sure. Are you gonna change up and record with some of the cats from school or some people that you're really close with? Or are you gonna stay on the path with kind of reaching out to a different generation of cats?
I've been thinking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do want there to be a balance of reaching out and getting experience playing with people who have been in it longer than I've been alive, as well as making those connections with people who are coming up with me. So I'm thinking about it. I think once I want to get at least a year or two playing in, and maybe even playing with the same group for a couple of months before before I venture into that nitty gritty question of yours.
Okay. Well, I ask it because, Greg, I play with a lot of singers, and so I think what I've learned is sometimes vocalists don't have the opportunity, like Greg and I did, to come up under somebody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and that can be detrimental sometimes. And it seems like you're like you got on, you said, I want to be a side person. I was like, oh, interesting. That
Mm-hmm.
rarely happens with the vocalist. Like, what's your thought process for that?
For wanting to be a side woman, I don't know. Carmen McRae had Norman Simmons. Sarah Vaughan at one point had this piano player who's still alive. His name is Ronell Bright. Um, so I feel like I don't know. I can't lead where I've never been. Like there are piano players and there are accompanists who have played with singers and who know, like they have the experience, they have the credentials, they have the, you know what I mean? So I feel like learning from those people will then I'll be able to just take in, I don't know, learn something different that I can take with me along my development, that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten just being a leader or just, being like, this is me and this is my sound. Like, of course, everything that I sing will be unique to me because nobody has my voice and vice versa. But um, I don't know, I think that's important to me too. I don't want to just be like, okay, I'm singing jazz now and I'm the leader. There are people who have been in it so much longer who I could learn from and who I could, grow as a result of being around. So,
Wow, I love that answer.
I like it says humility, and I love that because as artists growing up, it's important to acknowledge the fact that we don't know everything, and there are these cats like you're saying that have been around playing with the greats, and they could save you 5 years of your life real quick in just a 5-minute conversation. And as I'm listening to that too, I'm thinking I'm a teacher too, and so I interact with a lot of young people on a daily basis, and I feel like a lot of times you get a perspective like yours, and you also get the other perspective where it's like, fuck you, I'm an artist, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and you just I don't want to mess with you.
mm-hmm.
But can you talk about, like, again, mentorship is something that's huge in the jazz world that we live in, and I don't know, what are some things that you've learned from cats like John Faddis or Kenny Washington that maybe you could not have learned from your peer group as just leaving school?
I mean, I would say the biggest thing that I learned from them is respecting the tradition before trying to come up with your own sound. And because transcribing is in the tradition, listening to the music is in the tradition, knowing the history of your instrument is part of the tradition. And so I would say that's the main thing. And I think maybe young people just think that's outdated or are afraid to sound similar to somebody else, but the reality is you never will. So there's nobody that's going to sound exactly like Bird, but you can hear his influence and his children, so to speak, in almost, well, some alto players as well as other instruments, but no shade. But I think that's the main thing that I've learned from them is to respect the tradition before, and spending, I don't want to say paying your dues, but just spending a considerable amount of time with the music before and gravitating towards what you love about it, while at the same time developing your own musicianship, your own sound.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're kind of talking about that, what is it about the music that you love?
Oof. Is quarter notes, is that corny to say?
Hell yeah.
Nah. I'm a drummer. Yeah, quarter. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
And it's like, it's the fact that I maybe it's that's with everything, but it's just you never really get there. You're always going to be a student, and there's always something to learn. And I find that listening especially now getting more into singers like Carmen McRae. I'm like, man, like it's every singer, although they sometimes take from each other, is so unique in their time, so unique in their phrasing and in their tone. And I mean, I just love taking little bits of what I've learned from people. Sometimes a little bit too much, like that Lover Man I was talking about earlier. I like word, like phrase for phrase. I know what she does, and I try to do it whenever I sing the song. And I'm like, come up with your own thing. Like, stop it. It's time to stop copying. But that, I mean, that's what I really love. I love the unique qualities in each artist that I listen to and that I come across. And there's always something to learn. It's a challenge, and you never stop learning. And there's always something new, and there's always something a new goal to strive for. And yeah, so that's what I love about it. It's all beautiful music.
That's dope. See, Samara, you're in the minority of any musician on the planet, and because you're about to, I mean, one, because you're talented, like unbelievably talented, but also you have this opportunity to go on the road, and so you're headed on the road in just a few short weeks to Europe. You're going to play Ronnie Scott's Due to the Lombard and the Umbria Jazz Festival, which is huge.
Yeah.
And for you to be only 21 with these opportunities, like, how do you plan on capitalizing on these opportunities and building into your future success?
I don't even know how I got these, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just like, I feel like I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just along for the ride at this point. I want to focus on how to capitalize on it, but right now I'm really like in disbelief that this is even happening so quickly. It feels like. So I feel like just as these opportunities came along, then more of them will come in the future, as long as I stay on the path that I've been on. We'll talk about capitalizing that. Once we know for sure that the performances are good, we'll focus on, and whether they liked it or not, then we'll talk about, can you have me back next year? Then we'll get into that.
I guess you got to worry about one thing at a time, and now you just got to make the gig and make it happen, make it do what it do, and
sure.
Roger Lewis.
Yeah.
Have you been to Europe before?
Once I went to the Barry Harris Rome workshop in September of 2019. That was my first plane ride. I was very scared.
Really?
But yeah, but it was really fun. It was really exciting.
Oh man, so you're gonna go to Umbria in the UK. Umbria, it's in Italy, right? Yes.
Yeah, this will be my first time performing in Europe. I'll say that. And Umbria is with the Emmett Cohen Trio, and London and Paris are with Pasquale Grasso. Yeah. What? No, Emmett.
Oh, Emmett Cohen. Oh, that's equally killing. I mean, he doesn't play clarinet, but that's like totally killing.
I'm sure he could probably whip one out if he wanted to.
Oh man, I would love to see that.
I'm just thinking back on because Greg and I were around your age. We were playing in Europe also and doing various festivals and stuff. And just thinking back on it in the moments, I know for me personally, I was dumb. So I didn't think it was, I thought everybody was doing it. I was like, oh yeah, this is what it is to be a jazz musician. But as I got older, I realized like, oh, some people have opportunities and others don't. And it doesn't mean you're better or worse. And that's kind of why I asked that question, like to see if, like, are you aware of what's happening? And, because some people get it and other people wait until they're 50 and get it or don't.
Yeah.
And so it's.
And I feel really grateful. And sometimes I don't want to say ashamed, but just like, I'm really new to this. And I don't want to take that for granted, that all of these opportunities don't come to everybody. And yeah, and I wasn't really on this like scene every night, like grinding like a whole lot of these singers and musicians are. And so I know it's just sometimes I feel weird. I'm like, should this be happening right now? Like, should I probably wait a couple of years before, but I guess all I can say is I'm really grateful, and hopefully I can, capitalize on them and make them make them count, make those moments count as far as performing overseas and taking advantage of these opportunities.
Without a doubt, you're supposed to be there. Without a doubt. So, you know, it's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for you. Greg, I do want to play one more tune before we run out of time. But is that cool? I'm gonna play one more of your songs right now.
Please.
Oh. Oh gosh.
Jim doesn't ever bring me pretty flowers. He never tries to cheer my lonely hours. Don't know why I'm so crazy for Jim. He never tells me that I'm his heart's desire. I never seem to set his love afire. Gone are the years I've wasted on him. Sometimes when I get feeling low, I say let's call it quits. Then I hang on and let him go, breaking my heart in bits. Someday I know that Jim will up and leave me, but even if he does, you can believe me, I'll go on carrying the torch for my Jim. Jim doesn't ever bring me pretty flowers. He never tries to cheer my lonely hours. Don't know why I'm so crazy for Jim. He never tells me that I'm his heart's desire. I never seem to set his love afire. Gone are the years I've wasted on him. Sometimes when I get feeling low, I say, let's call it quits. Then I hang on and let him go, breaking my heart in bits. Someday I know that Jim will up and leave me, but even if he does, you can believe me, I'll go on carrying the torch for my Jim. Sometimes when I get feeling low, I say, let's call it quits. Then I hang on and let him go, breaking my heart in bits. Someday I know that Jim will up and leave me, but even if he does, you can believe me, I'll go on carrying the torch for my heart, my soul, my love, my all, for my
Jim. Hey, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all right now, bro.
Woo.
Y'all need to go to her Instagram, go to her YouTube page, DM her, hit her with so many DMs that she released the record tomorrow, because this is
Oh gosh, not you subjecting me to my own voice in these headphones. Oh Lord.
So what's that like? What's that like listening to yourself play that song? Because you said something that muted yourself.
You didn't say anything, but it's surreal, and obviously we're our own worst critic. So, you know, I'm in the days since performing that song, I'm like, dang, I wish I had done that, you know, I wish I had tried this idea on the record and stuff like that. But overall, I can't say I hate it. No, I'm kidding. I really love it. I'm like, I'm just, I don't know. I can't stop smiling. Maybe that's my answer.
Yeah. Aw, that's beautiful. It's one of those things, I guess, as musicians, it's always kind of awkward to listen to ourselves perform and play. But at the same time, I think there's always a smile at the end of it too, where it's like, damn, I did that.
And you know what happened? You asked me about something cool that happened. A couple months ago, I found out that Regina King like mentioned me in a Hollywood Reporter interview with Spike Lee and George Clooney and Chloe Zhao. And she was like, this girl, she looks like she's about 16 years old, and Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan are living in her body. And her name is Samara Joy. And I think the question was, what have you found in the pandemic that has brought you, happiness and stuff like that? And she mentioned my name. And when I tell you, there are 3 floors in this house, I ran up and down every single one of these floors, like I was in virtual church or something. So, I find myself critiquing myself, and then I'm like, if Regina King liked it, I'm okay with it. I can live with that. That's right. I can live with that take.
I love that, man. Sometimes it's hard, like Greg said, it's hard for us to see it because we hear all the mistakes, but no one else does. Like even for me, it sounds perfect and I love it and it's swinging. And what more do you want from a record? You know what I mean?
Thank you. No, what more do I want? I want Darrian Douglas playing on it. That's what I want.
Hey,
that's what I want.
All right.
I don't know who your drummer is. Hey man, you're fired. It's my game.
That's killing. And I get 15% here since I'm a facilitator.
No. We do need to play one day. But...
Not Greg drawing up the contracts. He said, so as per our last agreement.
As per our last agreement, yes, the terms will be in perpetuity for the extent of the universe and all multiverses found.
Y'all are funny, man. Listen,
ahead, well, can I ask one more thing? So, I'm going to honorarily anoint you into the old people club now, since you're touring the world and putting out records. But I think you're going to just my personal opinion, you're going to find yourself in a very unique spot, being so young and having so much attention put your way from, again, like people of my generation. But you're also going to have a lot of young people looking up to you. And so that's why, you are an elder in certain senses. So I was wondering, to all the young vocalists out there and all the young instrumentalists who are dreaming about being in the position that you're in at 21, what kind of advice do you have to them?
I don't want to be cliche, but I would say the advice would be to be true to yourself. Don't try to copy anybody else's path because it'll end up being counterfeit. So you have a unique strengths that you have to offer this world, a unique voice that people need to hear, and unique interests, unique things and sounds that you naturally and organically gravitate towards. So everything authentic, everything good, everything real about you, keep that, and just keep growing and learning. That's the best advice that I have right now. 21-year-old me has to all the youngins, the young bloods out there.
I love that. That was such a beautiful answer. It was true. And so I hope all the teeny boppers out there, y'all listening to this, I like to call them jazz babies. All the BAM babies and jazz babies out there.
The jazz kittens.
The jazz kittens. You guys
I love that.
Take heed. Samara, we are coming up on time, and as we are, I would like to give you an opportunity to tell all the people where to link with you, how they where's the most appropriate place to DM you, where to buy your merchandise, and so on and so forth.
Listen, if I'm gonna be in the old people's club, y'all gotta send me an email. Okay. So if you look on my website,
man, we're gonna send you a messenger pigeon.
Not any of those threads or anything like that. But if you want to go to my website and join my mailing list and find out where I'm playing next, samarajoy.com. Instagram is Samara Joy Sings. Facebook is Samara Joy. That's where you'll find all the information. Anywhere there's social media, I am there.
All right. So what about the record?
But website.
The record too. If they want the vinyl, they go to the website.
I'll put the link up in there. No, actually, if you join my mailing list, then I'll send you the link to how to pre-order CD and vinyl.
Okay, dope. So everybody go to samarajoy.com.
Yes, sir.
And join her mailing list, and she's gonna hit you guys with a special link so you can get that vinyl, and maybe even, I don't know if people listen to CDs anymore, but maybe even a CD. I don't know. So,
but in the link it'll show Apple Music, it'll show Spotify, all that stuff.
Okay, perfect. It's gonna have it all there. Samara, thank you so much for coming on the Working Artist Project.
Yeah,
thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
My name is Darrian.
And my name is Gregory Agid, and wishing you the best in your career. I hope we can have you on in 5 or 10 years and revisit this conversation to see what happens. But we're wishing you the best, and thank you so much for being you and creating such beautiful music to share with the world. And we look forward to watching your growth as an artist.
Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything you do at Second Line Arts Collective. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. This is the Working Artist Project, and we'll catch